So some of you might remember this.
I don't want to do it, guys. Don't make me do it.
Don't do it.
All right. In the
Find a way to
bin,
trade it. No!
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 I can feel it. I didn't even see it.
So fast forward 19 months. Straight in with the gold. Mountain King! Oh my lord, I have wanted this dude for so long. Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. And today we are unleashing the beast. He may be a little bit off meta right now, Mountain King. He's probably not like a top 20 arena champion. Or maybe he's like, you know, on the edge of a top 20 arena champion. But he's still a menace. He's still a nightmare to face in arena defense if he's built the right way. Because he's a constant threat. He's a constant threat and he's someone that you do not want to take on a one-on-one because he's going to demolish you in the face. Mountain King, why did I want him back in the day and why do I love this style of champ? Honestly, I love his simplicity. So you're not kind of wondering what's going on with the mechanics or that type of stuff. It's literally like he is a brute force, smack you in the face kind of dude. A1 attacks one enemy. We can't get it wrong, guys. We can't misjudge what's going on. The Thundercleave is as simple a line as it gets in raid. Attacks one enemy. He does have a spread of damage, so he does damage based on HP and attack. And it is kind of important to build both into his kit, and I'll get onto why in a minute. But most people would opt for higher HP than attack, mainly because HP also keeps you alive. So he's a high damage dealer that can stay alive, can withstand a hit because of this HP side. Second ability, attacks one enemy. So we've got the same kind of theme running through his kit. It is all single target stuff. This one, though, ignores 50% of the enemy defense. So this one kind of, you know, is like having two sets of Savage on, basically. It's a massive, massive cannon of a hit. And, yeah, this one should one-shot anyone if you built your champion right. Forget Crisks, forget Duchess and all that type of stuff. Straight in there should smack someone to death. So, again, if you look at the books here, 20% extra damage on books, 25% extra damage on books. If you were going to hit for 50k, just times that by 1.25, and that's what his damage becomes. So these books, actually, although he can get away without being booked, because all it's doing is scaling his damage, they do scale his damage a lot. His A3 then ignores shield, which is pretty big in today's meta. You know, there's so many champions that are out there with shield buffs, so ignores that shield, ignores that block damage as well. So you can't just come up against him with like a full team of tanks or shield champions. He's going to blow his way through that. And again, this one just attacks one enemy. So we've got no debuffs to land. We've got no buffs to put on. It's literally, how can I build this guy to hit as hard as I possibly can? 4-turn cooldown here, 4-turn cooldown here. We've also got a passive, which is very cool, actually. It's really unique as well. So increases his champion's attack by 50% each time he kills someone. This is why you want to build some attack into his build, because everything scales from HP and attack, but the passive only scales through attack. So if you just had him on his base level attack at like 1400 and his passive's kicking on, you're going to gain another 700 and then whatever it is, another 1,000 odd. No, you don't want that to happen. You want it to be, you want to scale your attack as you built your attack up as well. So really you want a minimum of like 2.5k, 3k attack so that you really get some benefit from this scaling as well. It's like someone's put increased attack on him and then again with his passive. So every time he kills someone, he's more of a menace to take down. So what I'm going to do, I've done his masteries already. I'll show you those quick and then I'll get into kind of different build options on him. So I've gone for Helm Smasher just to get the extra benefit from ignoring defense. So if it procs, you know, we're up to ignoring. We're already ignoring 50% on the A2. The rest of the abilities now are going to ignore 25% if it procs, which is big. We've also gone, so I've gone for, I don't know if this is an optimal build or not, to be honest with you, but I wanted obviously the crit rate, crit damage. I wanted to get round to Opportunist because I think you pair him with people that control the enemy a lot. So things like sleep, stuns, fears, true fears, freezes. You're probably in quite a defensive style team with him. So chances are you're going to be trying to put these debuffs on to control the enemy. Honestly, I think Stoke to Fury's good on him as well, and I didn't put it on. Stoke to Fury could be nice because chances are you're taking debuffs in your team. So actually, those debuffs would only boost your damage more. So I think this could be a good mastery. I didn't go down the left-hand side, which I normally would do with nukers, mainly because of things like bring it down. The chances of someone having more HP than him is low. So that's the kind of one of the main reasons to come over this side of the tree. And I actually took 2 defensive tree paths on both of these, which meant I couldn't take Heart of Glory, which would have been quite nice, and I couldn't take Ruthless Ambush, which again is nice. Reason why I took 2, I wanted the reduction of damage when I get a crit hit, so that I've got more chance of getting my damage started. And I pathed over to that. I probably didn't need this one, in honesty, Mighty Endurance, and maybe I should have taken Defiant into Improved Parry so that I had another ability here. I wanted to take Bloodthirst because when he kills someone, he gets 10% of his max HP back. That's probably like a 10 to 15k heal. So that's actually massive. So this is nice. It's only on a 1-turn cooldown. Resurgence, the most broken defensive mastery in the game. So I didn't really want to miss out on that. So took that one as well. And then the other one which I've picked, which I don't normally pick on most players or most champs, is Blood Shield. Because honestly, a shield for 15% of your max HP when you kill someone. I mean, every time he hits, he's going to kill someone. So this is like an extra 15% buffer for for you to get another turn. So I feel like Blood Shield and Mountain King is actually huge. You don't need anything in support tree really. There's nothing there that's helping you out. The main things is just choosing which way you don't go on some of these offensive tree hits. And honestly, I could have gone Heart of Glory, 5% more damage, and Ruthless Ambush, 8% more damage. Maybe that's the better way to go to get myself another like 13% damage in my hits. But I've gone a more defensive route. Don't know if that's the right way to go or not, to be honest. Okay, so in terms of building him out then, there's a number of options here. Now, because he doesn't need accuracy, it kind of like wipes out some of those things. Back in the day, probably the best build was going like high resistance, high HP, so that he was just almost unkillable. Couldn't debuff him, couldn't nuke him down. Nowadays, honestly, resistance meta, I mean, it's still around, but I feel like it's less effective. So I'd rather just get more damage out, more hits out. So I didn't go resist. You could still go savage and get the benefit from ignoring defense. He's going to hit harder, but I feel like he hits easily hard enough without that anyway. So I'm not going savage on him. You could also go a couple of niche style gear sets. So something like Retaliation on him could be huge, or Avenging. So whenever he takes a hit, you've got a chance to proc a counterattack to go and just smack someone back. The new accessories which counterattack as well would be massive on him, by the way. Just absolutely like brutal if you're up against a Mountain King with those accessories on. You could go something like Stalwart and just withstand more damage. You could also go, which I think is quite an interesting one, something like, where is it? Regen set. I can't find it. Here we go. Regen set. So that he gets 15% of, he heals by 15% each turn, which is massive as well. And we've got high HP champion. So Regen set is probably one of the best sets right now for Doom Tower, to be honest. But yeah, Regen set could be effective. And you could also do a big HP shield set potentially. But I'm not doing any of those. I'm going to go for Relentless set. Mainly because once he gets going, I want him to go again and again. And I feel like you don't get that much benefit from shield set anymore. People just wipe it off. Relentless set's probably, for me, the way to go. I think it's pretty tight. There's, like I say, there's loads of options, but Relentless gear, I think, is the way I'm going to do it. So let's get him built. So it's worth calling out a couple of the things which make him, I guess, weak in the current meta. His base speed is super low, albeit his HP is the best in the game. His speed is 85, so it makes him quite difficult to get fast. And you do still need a decent amount of speed. You want like 180, I'd say, minimum, to get some sort of good use out of him. Unless you're throwing him in like a counter-attack team. But even then, you want some sort of speed to rotate back through your abilities. He is the wrong affinity to face off against, one of the most used arena defense champions, Duchess. Also, there's a fair amount of Valk out there, so weak hits are a possibility. So that's something to watch out for. And I guess one of the other champs that we see a lot in the arena right now, Rotus, he can't come in and just one-shot a Rotus because of the Rotus passive. So Mountain King kind of starts to fall down the pecking order in terms of, like top-tier legendaries to take into the arena, but he's still a ton of fun, which we're going to see today. So let's do his build. I'm using the optimizer to build him out. So I'm putting into the optimizer 180 base speed, 100% crit rate, and then going high health, and then I'm going for high damage. And I'm just changing the sets to relentless so that it pulls me a relentless gear out. As I say, you could put other stuff in there. And then we're going to optimize. And what I've done, so I've optimized for highest damage. So you can do highest score or highest damage. I've done highest damage because obviously I want him to hit hard. What it will do, the optimizer will blend the damage between HP and attack because it knows that it needs both stats to draw power. So if we look here, it kind of scales them top to bottom in terms of the most damage you're going to do. Albeit, actually, maybe it doesn't on this one. Yeah, it does, yeah. Yeah, because the attack difference. I was thinking there, the health's the same. This crit damage is higher. How's he got more? But he's got more attacks. That makes sense. So it's telling me where we're going to be taking stuff from. I'm going to go and do that now. Equip him in the game. Okay, then here we go. Final build. Well, we've got 115,000 health, 3,500 attack, 186 speed, 100% crit rate, 246 crit damage. Ooh, that's got to be a smack, right? That's got to be a smack. We're going to try him just in the normal kind of damage test first, as we normally would. Let's just bring out the damage team. So I've got sets. Obviously, he's the positive affinity here for Dragon 20. Look, is he going to be used in a whole bunch of dungeon content? If you're earlier game, maybe he is. Maybe he's just going to come in and smack stuff up for you. But for most people, he's an arena champion. And he might be pretty useful, actually, in some of the Doom Tower areas where you don't want to be applying buffs and debuffs. So he kind of comes in. But because he doesn't bring any other utility than full-on smacks, he's probably not going to get a look in other stuff. So let's try him out then. A2 first. Tyrell, how you feeling? Slow this bad boy down. Uppercut, 250k. Not bad. Not bad. Just speed this along a little bit. The shame is he is all single target stuff, so you're not going to get too much use out of him other than the kind of arena beast mode stuff. Let's see what he does here with his A3. Against a Hordin. 220k. Everything's a smack. And honestly, like I was wondering against some of the Doom Tower bosses, like Griffin and maybe even Bommel. I don't know if he could come in and do a bit of work, but it's just a lot of fun to see smacking around. So that's what he's going to be doing in any dungeon. It's no different, right? He's just going to come in and be hardcore smacking people up for 80 to 220k, depending on what's going on. He's definitely not the best champion in the game for that stuff. Yeah, there's AoE hitters are going to do that way better for you. People with more utility are going to do it better for you. He does come in to Faction Wars, especially against like the end bosses in Faction Wars, and do a ton of work. So he can do a ton of hard hits in there. Also, whilst having naturally high HP, which helps him beat up stage 21. So he's useful there. Honestly, I've seen him do some work in the Clan Boss team, but only as a bit of a meme sort of setup. So let's take him to where he should be fought. Let's take him to where he should be playing in the arena. And I guess you could go with a number of different teams. You could kind of pull him into a more like a standard style team. I really think he'd just best fit a defensive style comp, almost pretending like you're on defense here. So this is what people would be facing up against. Something like this. You could use maybe a Surrogate in here. Yeah, but I'm thinking someone who's going to naturally protect him. Someone who's going to revive your team if you need it. Counter-attack so that he gets out slapping with that A1 as often as possible. Lydia to kind of counter any revives the enemy team are doing. And it's just a straight-up defensive team. Watch it roll. It doesn't mean that we're going to win every fight. Things like stuns coming off. But I think over time, I mean, we'll see actually, they're going to strip my buffs with a Madame. And it's looking nasty at first. You're like, damn, are you sure what you're doing here, Hell Hades? You played this game before? First revive comes out. First pop comes out, 74k. Obviously, Lydia's in there mainly because enemy revivers are going to be picking people up, and Mountain King favours the weak. He goes after the low health people first. So on auto, he's a bit stupid. He's a bit of a dumb dwarf, but he just smacks people up anyway. So we don't really have any trouble dealing with him. He's just a bit stupid, and he doesn't go after any of the revivers. He's like, nah, we'll save them till later. We'll just keep going after the same dude. But you can see I don't really have any damage in the rest of the team. It's all reliant on when Mountain King gets his turn. And he just pops people in the face. 60k plus. If you're up against like a nuking team like this, it's like a blender style team here. I wonder if we survive it actually without a shield set in the first place. Let's see. So a blender team that's built to do damage, built to do the initial nuke. I mean, the poor fellas don't really stand a chance. Counterattack comes in here from the Valk counterattack, but won't need it. They're dead. Revive stopped through the Lydia. And, you know, Baratheon's like, please no, please no. I'm actually thinking here, I've got him a bit low in my turn order. If he was higher in the turn order, he would be counterattacking before the rest of them, but we're still smacking people up. 157k. He's just a fun champ. He's just a fun champ that you can kind of get moving with. Don't really want to fight a Tormund. Let's try this one. 252 team power. Obviously, Madame's a bit of an anti-him. Necret's a nightmare because Necret protects the nuker. Duchess is a bit of a nightmare. It's just he's a bit out of meta right now. That's his problem. That's why we don't see too many of them. Madame comes in, clears everything I've just done. But he starts popping, and and they're having a bad day. Even someone like a Warlord, who is probably the worst champion to fight right now in the arena because he just wipes out all your abilities. At least you've still got someone smacking with the A1 all day. Honestly, Warlord's a fairly good counter to him because the rest of his abilities are on a 4-turn cooldown. So chances are you're not going to cycle back to them before Warlord cycles back to his ability. But he still gets a good old smack out when he can. And you can see here, even at like 180, 190 speed, we're just... Like, if we were any slower, he wouldn't be getting any hits out at all. So I'm at the cusp of, is he too slow even right now, to be honest? Revive comes out. Down she goes again. 170k hits. And don't forget, this is me pretending to be an arena defense here, not offense. So it's more about, at what point does the enemy decide enough's enough, we can't get through this guy? That's what it's about. Even against a Warlord, 150k hits. And now it's down to whether Sifi can 1v4. Obviously she can't. 40k with increased defense up. Big smack comes in, 34k, down she goes. So if you're against like this double style nuke, hedgy, nuke candy, can we withstand that pain? I think I've got a shield set here. Can we deal with that pain? I'm not sure. Let's have a look. So he's going to lock out our abilities, decrease attacks on us. We got Resurgent there, got rid of the lockout. See that? So Resurgent, we had 2 debuffs on us. We took more damage. Resurgent procced. And then pop, 29k. Go again, 63. I'd probably need to change his AI so that he prioritizes his A2 actually. Comes to counterattacks, 1 more down. The only thing that could lose us a game right now is if Duchess decided to res someone on auto. But this is going to be death all around. Bam! There he goes. Nice. And that's why I wanted Mountain King all this time ago. Honestly, when I wanted him so bad, we had a big kind of resistance meta, and I was kind of pushing resistance when a lot of people were not even playing with it. So That's kind of where I want him to pop up. But still a fun champ, still viable, and a pleasure to build out. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I've been Hell Hades. I will see you later.